Antara Adun, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Solo ReacTalk. Today I'm going to be reacting to Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. All cinematics, cutscenes and edited gameplay done by X Letalis. This is part 2. If you want to check out part 1 and the prologue campaign, remember the playlist card will be at the top. Just click on it and you'll be able to access them. Yes, in part 1, Zeratul has passed away. He sacrificed his life to free Artanis from the control of Amon. Amon has found a way to manipulate the Kala to his will. Thus, all Protoss who are connected to the Kala have become his thrall, in a sense. And the plan to retake Aiur from the Zerg that infested the planet has failed. Artanis and some Protoss who survived this catastrophe have left aboard a ship called the Spear of Adun, and I think now they're heading off to the Terran Dominion to ask for assistance, especially to retrieve the Zalnaga artifact. Zeratul advised Artanis to collect that artifact, and yeah, it's a catastrophe, guys. I just hope they'll be able to retake Aiur on another date, in another time, hopefully. But right now, we have to commence damage control and try to control the situation before it becomes even far worse. Okay, part 2. 3, 2, 1, go.
Engineering, and last of the 3 great arc ships, each created to ensure the continuation of our culture in a dark time. Within its chambers rest contingents of zealots, Templar who bravely sacrificed, entering suspension so that they may serve as this vessel's army. Though it pains me greatly, I have begun severing their nerve cords. The ship's lower decks contain a star forge capable of constructing weapons of war. There is much to learn about this vessel. Its technology is ancient, yet highly advanced. We are aboard a relic from a glorious time, when our culture shined as a constellation. The celestial array has been updated, Hierarch. From here, you may select our next point of travel.
Okay, alright. The first time when I saw the Spear of Adun, right, in part 1, it just looked like a building, you know, a small building, and it just teleported. I didn't see the rest of the ship in part 1. Now that I'm seeing how big it is, it's amazing. Really, it's amazing. So it's an arc ship, one of the last arc ships that the Protoss created on Aiur before it fell. And yeah, there's a lot of zealots aboard, a lot of other people. I can see people who are not wearing military uniform, like civilians probably. I just hope that this is not like the last of the Protoss, like really like the last of the Protoss. I know there are still other Protoss, mainly, you know, like the Dark Templars on Shakuras. So yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. After what happened on Aiur, it's really, really bad. Okay.
With this vessel, we will avenge what has transpired, Karax, and we will free the Templar. Aiur lost once more. My grand vision of reclamation left in ruins. I have failed my people. This must not stand. The Nerazim of Shakuras ritually sever their connection to the Kala. Because of this, they are now the last free Protoss. I must reach them before Amon's armies.
is overrun. Loss of life is extensive. Hold. We are receiving a transmission.
Praise the gods. Artanis, you live.
Matriarch Vorazun, what has happened here?
Shakuras has fallen. The warp gate linking this world to Aiur has been reopened. Countless hybrid and Zerg pour from the other side. They've obliterated our cities, decimated our Shadow Guard. We are trying to evacuate the remaining population, but I am uncertain whether we can hold long enough to get them safely away.
Wait, she said there's a warp gate on Shakuras that connects straight to Aiur? So, why didn't they use that warp gate the first time when they wanted to invade Aiur? Okay. Or maybe on that side it was deactivated and, you know, the Zerg kept it closed somehow. And now that Amon is here, he's freeing it up and activating the gate again. Maybe it's something like that. Okay. Oh, it's bad for Shakuras as well, though. Phew.
We will give you the time you need, Matriarch. My Templar are inbound.
Hierarch, before our armies engage the enemy, it would be wise to review our military capabilities within the War Council.
Karax, even without the Kala's light, I can sense your sadness, your pain. Does the Spear of Adun bring you no joy?
That is just it, Hierarch. Without the Kala, it is as if I am blind. I cannot sense your feelings, know the true depth of your thoughts. I cannot call upon the surety of other phase-smiths. I am alone.
I feel the isolation as well, as though thrashing within the vacuum of space. But you are not alone, brother.
To think, the Dark Templar have endured this existence all this time. The days ahead will not be easy.
We may not have the Kala to rely on, Karax, but we still stand as one. We will endure. There is no other option.
My Dark Templar were tracking your invasion on Aiur when we were cut off. Then the warp gate opened. What happened, Artanis?
Amon used the Kala to seize control of the Templar. I could feel his rage tearing through me, and I was powerless against it. Zeratul found me. It was there that he...
Yes?
He tried to free me. And he succeeded at the cost of his own life. He fell by my hand.
It was Amon's deed, not yours.
Zeratul came to me with a warning, but I did not act. Because of this, he is now gone, and the stars burn dimmer for his loss. Amon's deed or not, I carry a burden, Matriarch. One that cannot be easily lifted.
Okay, what Karax was saying about, you know, them feeling alone and not being able to sense the feelings or the thoughts of other Protoss, I think they'll get used to it. You know, the Nerazim have been doing this for generations upon generations, so they're used to this kind of thing. So I'm sure they will teach them how to, you know, accept that your thoughts and your mind are your own now. They don't belong to a collective. And you won't be able to sense other people's thoughts and emotions anymore. It's their own thoughts and their own feelings. And you have to now try to respect that and understand that and live through that kind of situation. So yeah, I think the Nerazim will teach them how to become an individual, more so than before, when they were connected to the color. And Matriarch Vorazun, what's her position in Shakuras exactly? Is she like the leader of both the Kalai and the Nerazim, or is she just the leader of the Nerazim? Because I can see she's wearing that cloth on her face like how Zeratul and other Dark Templars do. So I'm thinking maybe she's part of the Dark Templars. Even her eyes are greenish in color, not like how the Kalai with their blue eyes. So yeah, I think she's part of them. I'm just not sure in what kind of structure is she in position of. Is she a leader, or Is she second in command, and the command structure has been killed off by the invading forces from the Zerg? I'm not sure about that.
A preserver? Released from stasis?
She still bears her nerve cords. She's tethered to the collar.
Hold. I am Rohana, Grand Preserver of the Valari, and your War Council advisor. You must be the executor in command.
You are not possessed by the Dark One. How is this possible?
I feel darkness lingering at the edges of my every thought, but I am not corrupted. Preservers of my station have trained to control the Kala's every rebel. I assure you, I will stave off this evil and serve you better by doing so. As all preservers, I hold the memories and personalities of Protoss prior to my submission to stasis. This will allow me to contrast your tactical decisions with those of past executors. From this chamber, you will be able to make all military allocations.
I am Artanis, Hierarch of the Daylon. I lead all that is left of our civilization. Your memories are indeed of use, Rohana. But make no mistake. If you fall to this corruption, I will not hesitate to destroy you.
It is understood. I am prepared for the Firstborn's darkest hour. Come, let me show you what may be done here.
Okay, her name is Rohana, and she's part of the Preservers. Okay, is she going to be like an assistant? Like how Isha was an assistant to the Queen of Blades? Is she going to be something like that? And she looks different. She really looks different from other Protoss that I've seen. Her skin, her facial structure, it's just so... I don't know, it's just different compared to other Protoss. Yeah, and even her clothing, she really comes from a golden era, of Protoss civilization. Unlike right now, where everybody is either wearing armor and, like their faces seem weathered compared to hers. Hers is very clear, and her eyes are also they're blue, but then they just look different. They just look so different. Okay, let's continue.
The assembly panel awaits, Hierarch. We may begin whenever you are ready.
I have heard only tales of the Grand Preservers. I did not expect to encounter one aboard this vessel.
That is not surprising, Hierarch. My sisters and I are unique, trained from birth to master every intricacy of the Kala. I have experienced its true depth, plunged the infinite spectrum of emotion and memory. It is because of this gift we were selected to enter stasis, so that we may guide you in our most dire hour.
Your sisters were aboard the other Ark ships? Then they...
are one with the Kala, fallen during the Zerg invasion of Aiur. I know this. I feel the tragedy that has befallen us, more deeply than you may realize.
When she says they are one with the Kala, does that mean that their consciousness has transferred into the Kala? Is that what she's trying to say?
A terrible burden has been laid upon you, Rohana.
Yet it is my fate to bear it. A fate foreseen by the same minds that constructed this vessel. I trust in their wisdom, Hierarch. I will serve my purpose, much as you must serve yours. The assembly panel allows you to customize your army based on the Protoss technology we encounter. Select a warrior category to begin. Now you may choose one of the two factions for use in upcoming battles. These assignments are not permanent and can be altered as our combat needs change. Many battles await you, Hierarch. Choose a faction and lead them to glory.
We are the Blades of Aiur. The Shadow Guard waits.
I'm here in the shadows. I have returned.
I choose the Stalkers every single time. Stalkers. In terms of the Zealots or the Centurions, I'm not sure. You know, they can be under your discretion, but me, for the mechanized units, definitely the Stalkers. Yeah.
The Zerg infestation is overtaking Telemetros. Our evacuation is already in great peril. Your aid cannot come soon enough, Hierarch. Shakuras teams with Amon's Zerg broods. We hold only the southwest quadrant of Telemetros, and even that is in peril. We must evacuate our people, but the launch bays have been defiled with infestation. Only ground forces can clear them. Once the bays are free, the planetary warp conduit will allow our ships to escape safely.
The launch bays will be cleared. Your people will survive, Matriarch. This I swear.
You will need the aid of my Dark Templar in this battle. They can strike from the shadows without fear of reprisal. Artanis, I'm detecting a rift opening near your position. A Void Thrasher. By the gods, it's sieging the warp conduit.
Karax, are any of the Spear of Adun's weapon systems ready for use?
Orbital strike is online. Designating targets.
The Thrasher has been weakened. Warriors, move in and seal its fate.
Okay, what is the Void Thrasher? Is it like a mixture of Protoss and Zerg, again, like a new hybrid, but a different type of hybrid, where the normal hybrids that we know about, you know, they're psionic imbued, but this hybrid is more of a physicality compared to the other hybrids. Is that what this is? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, it looks huge, and it's the first time I actually see it. Oh, yeah, because I don't remember seeing this in the Heart of the Swarm, a Void Thrasher. No. But anyways, let's continue.
I am the blade. Orbital strikes can now be fired from the Spear of Adun's command panel, Hierarch.
I am intrigued. The Thrasher is slain, but it will be for naught if the launch bays remain infested.
These vaults hold the city's last energy reserves. Claiming them should aid you in the fight ahead.
Indeed, completing bonus objectives will allow me to improve the Spear of Adun's power. There are 2 vaults left in the city.
Be careful. The spore crawlers and overseers ahead can detect our Dark Templars' movements. Slay them first.
Clever. Cut.
Yeah, I have to admit that this orbital strike capability is quite impressive. I think Jim Raynor had something similar with the nuclear warhead airstrike. The Queen of Blades, I don't think she had anything like this, you know. Yeah, she had her ground forces and her air units, but she didn't have like an orbital strike capability. So yeah, the Protoss, damn.
I'm but a phantom. Shore up our defenses. The Zerg are moving to attack our nexus point.
If possible, we should warp in more photon cannons. They will help our nexus point defend against enemy incursions.
I am intrigued.
You must construct additional pylons. This will provide us with supply we can use to train new warriors.
Is upon us.
Input command. Initiated. I have returned.
I am but a phantom. The darkness lies. I am but a...
Make use of me.
What would you ask of us? I am intrigued.
The Thrasher has been eliminated. This would be an opportune moment to clear the launch bays.
Razine.
You know what I've also realized is that the Dragoons are they're like mobile proton cannons. You know, like when the proton cannon defense turrets, right? They are fixed on the ground and they don't move. But with these Dragoons, they have the 4 legs. So then it looks like a Protoss cannon that a proton cannon, sorry, that is able to move around. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Matriarch Vorazun, the first launch bay has been cleared. Continue evacuating.
Base is under attack. Hierarch, only some of your gateways have transformed into warp gates. It is better to commit to a single warp-in strategy.
We have secured a second launch bay.
Well done. Half of the bays are launching evacuation ships.
We have purged the infestation. Only one launch bay remains disabled.
Lead of the Narazine.
Assets initiated. Look tie. Confirmed.
Adun, I walk the shadow.
Engaging foe.
Or maybe the Void Thrasher is a animal that you'd find on Shakuras, but you know the Zerg infected it with their Zerg DNA, and thus it transformed into this creature.
We shall shield this world.
Awaiting instructions.
Eternally resolute.
Transmit. Michoga. Engaging foe.
What would you ask of us?
Input command.
Adun.
That should buy the conduit more time. The launch bays have been reclaimed. Matriarch, you may complete the evacuation.
You have saved my people, Artemis, and they will never forget.
Despite this tragedy, I am pleased to see you once more, Hierarch. I had hoped that our next interaction would be your announcement of Aiur's reclamation.
As did I. Instead, the Templar have fallen.
Then the threat is greater than I realized.
We cannot let the same fate befall Shakuras.
It is too late for that. Amon Zerg poured through the warp gate as a tide of flesh and blade. They have already overrun Telemetros and are nearing the shrines of Lazul. This world is lost. With such an infestation, Shakuras must be destroyed.
Destroy Shakuras? I will not permit this.
Permit? Shakuras was my people's home long before we offered yours sanctuary upon it. I will not let this world be a den for Amon's forces. Worlds may fall to ash. What matters is that we endure.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, Matriarch Vorazun, but it just sounds a bit extreme, you know? Really? The entire planet must blow up because Amon is taking over? Come on. I mean, you can take over the planet again. You can retake it again, like how they're going to retake Aiur. But first deal with Amon and then come back to take over Shakuras. I mean, you don't have to destroy it. Man.
To lose Shakuras and Aiur.
We are a vagabond people, Artanis. Our true home has always been Aiur. Let us reclaim it together.
It is fitting that the daughter of Raja Gal decides the fate of the world she helped forge. Let us make preparations at once.
Of all the Templar, you never wavered in the belief that our two peoples could live in unity. It is something I admired in you.
It is ironic to hear you say this. All this time, I believed you were reluctant to accept the unity I sought.
You and I had many a disagreement in the Twilight Council. For day by day, I saw my people losing what they were. I saw our precious old ways erode.
You wished to preserve them.
I am Nerazim, Dark Templar. I hold great pride in my people.
But you are also Protoss. That is the greater affiliation.
That is not what the Conclave believed when we were exiled long ago. Your kind had Aiur. Our culture is all we ever had.
All this time, this wretched little world was within striking distance of our fleets.
Much has changed since your era, Preserver. The Dark Templar are now our allies.
There was a time when the Protoss were broken. Throughout the Aeon of Strife, we tore at each other with wanton abandon. Only one path was ever found to end the madness and unify our people. The Kala. The Dark Ones rejected its light. They denied their own race. How can you fight for them?
I don't like her tone. I don't like the words she's using here. Describing the Nerazim's homeworld of Shakuras. I don't like it.
For one so sworn to preserve our history, Rohana, how can you be so blind to its turn?
I see I have offended you, Hierarch. My apologies. Adapting to this period is difficult. Cloaked warriors are now...
Okay, at least she said she was sorry. But, you know, I advise that in the future don't talk about stuff like that again. You know, keep it to yourself. I don't think anyone wants to know about, you know, how you dislike the Nerazim. Yeah, we don't need to know about that stuff. Guys, it's so serious. It's so serious in this game. It's not funny anymore. You know, like with Wings of Liberty, how funny it was with Kate Lockwood and Vermilion on the news, always telling us the news, and you know, I would always laugh at their news segments. But there's nothing like that here. It's just very serious. I'm okay with that. It's just that I miss, I miss Kate Lockwood. I miss Vermilion. I really do miss them now.
Available for deployment.
Cartoon. Vengeance for Aiur.
Yeah, the Avenger is a bit slow, so I'm taking the Dark Templars.
The Solar Matrix Core. Truly an impressive sight.
A synthetic star. Imagine what went into its creation. This chamber provides power to the Spear of Adun and all its systems. Its radiance even contributes nourishment for our warriors.
How long until you can bring its tactical systems online?
System analysis has begun, but the star has lain dormant for an eon. It will take time, and a powerful ignition catalyst like Solarite to restore it to full capacity.
Solarite?
Firstborn haven't utilized Solarite in millennia.
This vessel is ancient, Hierarch. We will need to exhaust even unconventional resources if we are to bring it to bear.
Do what you can, Phase Smith. We will acquire what you need.
Very well. You may begin augmenting the solar core whenever you are ready. Select the core to start reviewing your options, Hierarch.
You look different, Phase Smith.
Ah, you must be referring to these mechanical arms. I constructed them to improve my efficiency while running the solar core. So far, they have been quite helpful. This array displays an overview of the Spear of Adun's weapon and support systems. Each system can only be configured to have one active ability at a time. You may select different abilities to complement your tactical decisions in different battles, Hierarch. Our current available Solarite is displayed here. Any leftover Solarite can be routed to our auxiliary systems. You may begin diverting Solarite now.
Okay, I just have to say this. The ship is beautiful, right? It's very, very beautiful, but it also kind of looks very fragile. The pieces that are moving around and the open spaces, like, I don't know. Maybe because they're confident in their shielding technology and they just don't see any enemy, penetrating the shields and attacking the main superstructure of the ship. But yeah, there's just too many areas that are exposed. The command structure, the solar engine power that they have, the synthetic star, it's based in a very open area. Like, I can see it right there. So yeah, it just has very exposed areas everywhere. Yeah.
The evacuation ships have reported in. All are present and are being escorted by the Spear of Adun.
This was not an easy decision, but I would rather see Shakuras destroyed than overwhelmed by Amon's Zerg. We have much to plan, Hierarch.
Tell me, Vorazun, how will we bring destruction to your world?
The Zelnaga Temple's phase prism can be overloaded, forcing a spike of energy into the planet's core. Enough of a charge and the planet will shatter. Amon will not possess my world.
I've been thinking about this choice.
Are you reconsidering?
No. My time here has reminded me of the courage of your people. That we must fight. If we are to suffer, then so too will Amon. We will lure as many of Amon's hybrid and Zerg through the gateway as we can. Only once enough are through to wound him will we overload the temple and flee.
You mean to bleed him? Bold. But we can't risk the forces it would require to do such a thing.
Leave that to me, Matriarch. I have learned much from the Dark Templar.
Okay, Artanis, okay. I don't think Amon is gonna care. I just don't think he's gonna care about a few Zerg and hybrids who die on the planet, really. You can lure in as many as you want. He can still rebuild his army. He still has Aiur. He still has the Protoss that are based on Aiur, so he can make more hybrids. And the Zerg who are still on Aiur as well. So, yeah, I just don't think he will care.
Our forces have secured the Zelnaga Temple grounds. Artemis, how go your preparations?
I am configuring the temple now, but without the Uraj and the Callus, it will take time.
Time is not all it will take. The temple's energies are regulated by 3 Zenith stones. Only once they are destroyed can the temple be overloaded.
Until then, we must defend it from the Zerg and their hybrid masters.
The Nerazim have long used Kadaran monoliths to protect our lands. I see your phase smith has become familiar with them.
Indeed, Matriarch. The monoliths are quite deadly and fire a considerable distance. They should prove instrumental in our defense.
The moment has come. Let us begin.
Which defensive turret is better, the proton cannons or the Kadarian monolith? Which one is better, guys? But I can see that the monolith takes a lot of space. So maybe, yeah, maybe not that one. Maybe at least build one or two of them and then everywhere else would just be proton cannons. Yeah.
The darkness run.
The sooner the Zenith Stones are destroyed, the better off we shall be. The Zerg will overwhelm the temple grounds shortly.
Agreed. Although, should it become necessary, my Dark Templar can sneak through the enemy and destroy the stones.
I am the blade of the Narazim.
Exercise caution when attacking a Zenith Stone. The energies within may become volatile as it is damaged.
I will. What would you ask of us? You seek ours.
The Zerg gathered for an attack to the southwest. Ignite your blades, warriors.
I am but a phantom.
It is done. The Zenith Stones have been destroyed. Once your task is complete, the temple can be overloaded.
Understood. And the temple alignment is proceeding well. Now, we wait for the Zerg. Base is under attack.
I am the blade of the Narazim. I am but a phantom.
I will comply.
If possible, we should warp in more photon cannons. They will help our nexus point defend against enemy incursions.
Yeah, it looks like the monoliths don't last long.
Artanis, our observers are reporting a vast number of Zerg have poured onto Shakuras.
And yet, not a single hybrid. Amon is testing our resolve.
Be on guard, warriors. The Zerg are attacking the temple from all three sides at once.
Here is an illusion. Input command. Our blades meet the enemy. I have returned. Confirmed. Heat up. I am leading. Transmit.
Base is under attack.
Input command. Awaiting instructions. The Master's gaze falls on your shadowed world.
By the gods, I have never seen such abomination.
Okay, that must be like a super hybrid. It's huge and it looks different compared to the other hybrids that I've seen. Did you see the image there they showed us of the hybrid? It had teeth, it had a mouth-like, opening, it had a big Protoss looking head. Yeah, I think that's like a different version of the hybrids.
Warriors, focus all cannons on the hybrid. We must defend the temple. Base is under attack.
We await our charge. Your command is law.
Hierarch, I have never borne witness to so many Zerg. Was this the threat my mother once faced?
No, Matriarch. This threat is a far greater one, and it will take all we have to resist it. The moment approaches, warriors. The temple is realigning. It will be ready soon.
Hierarch, I have discovered a solarite cache beneath the Zelnaga temple. If we can hold longer, I should be able to retrieve it.
Begin the retrieval process, Karax. We will hold the temple as long as we can. The temple thrums with energy. It is ready.
Solarite retrieval is still in progress. If we can hold on just a while longer.
Base is under attack.
Engaging foe.
Base is under attack.
Is upon us.
It is done. The Solarite has been successfully warped aboard the Spear of Adun.
Templar, initiate dimensional recall. Get to safety, now!
Midas worms. Berserker poised to breach the temple.
Have faith, Matriarch. Your fallen people cry out for vengeance, and they shall have it.
Of our kind suffer, separated from the glory of the Kala.
Choose the mantle of Dark Templar.
Alone. It is said that those of our kind suffer separated from the glory of the Kala, but none of us are ever truly alone, for our warrior hearts are bound by honor, tradition. Battle is waged in the name of the many, the brave, who generation after generation chose the mantle of Dark Templar. Boom! I really like that action hero walk that Artanis made as, you know, the temple was exploding behind him, and then he teleported away. That was so cool. That was really, really cool. Yeah, because that's the end of this episode, or part 2, I should say, of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void, or cinematics, cutscenes, and edited gameplay by X Letalis. Yes, it started off with an amazing, you know, entrance with the ship, the Spear of Adun, very powerful, very big arc kind of vessel, and then towards the middle of the gameplay, it became very sad because of what's happening to Sakura's And then we have new characters like Rohana and Vorazun, who have come aboard the Spear of Adun, and Vorazun's decision to blow up the planet instead of giving it to Amon. And yeah, like, it was really sad, you know, during that moment of the gameplay, as well as, you know, finding out from Karax that, you know, he's having a difficulty accepting that he's no longer connected to the color. He cannot sense the feelings or the thoughts of other Protoss around him, and he feels alone because of that. But like I've said before, he will get used to it. The Nerazima there, they will teach them how to get used to it. And also we got to, you know, learn about more about the ship, you know, it being powered by an artificial sun. There's a lot of zealots aboard who are in stasis. There's a weapon system that gives the option of an orbital strike on the planet, or any planet I should say. And yeah, it's going good so far, you know, all things considered. You know, they're gonna take whatever victory is there as a victory for all Protoss. So the destruction of Shakuras, yes, it is sad, but you know, at least they got to take away, I'm assuming, a big chunk of Amon's armies. But like I said, does he care really? I don't think so. Guys, I guess that's it for part 2. If you like the video, remember to give me a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos, and I will see you on Friday, which is tomorrow, right? Today's Thursday. Yes, tomorrow. So hope to see you then, and yeah, that's it. Okay, bye bye. I am a Dark Templar.